This week's games were an instant hit with my gaming group. Some games are just like that. They play them once after the first game, they're like, run it back, let's play again. I can't say every game falls into that category, but these definitely did, so let's hop in. Hi, I'm Ryan, welcome to the Board Game Journey, where you be joining me to play 1,000 games. With these two games, our brings our total to 107 games. But no time to waste. First game up on the list is Botswana. Wow, yeah, instant hit. I mean, come on. Serrano Knizia, so far, he has not done me wrong. I have a bunch of his games, and they're all definitely in the tops of my list. Botswana, I mean, hey, gorgeous cover art. Right? I remember seeing this, I feel like at Gen Con. I just didn't pick it up. But my good friend Caleb was like, hey, have you heard of Botswana? And he just described it. And of course, simple rule set. Play a card, pick up an animal. Play a card, pick up an animal. And in the day, it's kind of like a stop manipulation type feel to it, where you're playing these cards in front of these animals and you're picking the animals up. So obviously at the end of the game, whatever the top card is played in front of the animal is what your animals are worth. But of course, the values can be from 0 to 5. So maybe they're worth 5, but then at the last second, it gets zeroed out. So all your drafts you collected are now worth, instead of being worth 20 points, they're now worth 0 points. So I'm realizing I'm loving these kind of like auction-y bidding stock price games. I have a few of them now, and let's just kind of show you how this game works. So here's the game all set up. I do love the fact that they come with these nice wooden pieces, tokens for the different animals. It just makes the game feel so tactile and fun, and instantly has a nice table appeal, right? But just a card, it easily could be a token card game, but just having the real animals makes a big difference, and they're nicely done. They're printing on both sides. Yeah, really beautiful. So in a 2-player game, you would deal out all the cards except for 2 cards, so that way you don't have perfect information. Each animal type has it goes from 0 to 5. And in classic Reiner Knizia fashion, as I'm learning throughout this journey, simple rule set, very easy to explain. We explain it to you right now. On your turn, you play an animal card. So I could play, like, say, a 4 in front of the meerkat, and you would pick up a meerkat. Now, if the game ended now, this meerkat would be worth 4 points. But of course, your opponent can maybe be like, nah, meerkats are now worth 1 point, right? And maybe they take a hippo. Because on your turn, you can play a card anywhere you want and take any animal you want. You don't have to take the animal that you play a card to. So they can maybe sabotage me and also maybe build. Maybe they have a lot of hippos. Maybe they want to. Yeah, they do. They have 4 hippos in this case. So, and they also control the 0. So that's something to consider. This game is, if you have the 0, they can't make it 0. So maybe you, like in this case, I have the 0, 1, 3, and 5. So I'm missing the 2 and 4. So worst case scenario, elephants, the lowest is going to be for me is 2, right? But you have to always play a card. So sometimes maybe they don't want to play one of their other cards, so they're forced to play the 2 early. And now I know, okay, I probably can get elephants higher. But since it's not perfect information, you're not quite sure. You can make assumptions on what they have, right? Because you can quickly go, if I don't have it, they do. But having 2 cards out of the game, it is a 2-player game, is nice because it makes you, question yourself. This game really did remind me of Lost Cities in terms of that tension. The whole playing a card, picking something up, playing a card, picking something up. It has that feeling, which is great. I love it. I love Lost Cities too. So this game just kind of reminds me of that. This game also played really well at 2 players. I tried it at 3 players, worked pretty well. It says plays 4 or 5. I haven't tried it yet. I have a hard time believing it would feel good at those because you have a lot less cards. I feel like having at least a few more cards gives you a little bit more, gives you the at least illusion of that you have more control. I can't imagine it would work. We'll see. Maybe you guys played it at 4 or 5. What did you guys think? To me, this right now tops that at 3, but I'll try 4 one day and just see if maybe it plays well. I'll let you guys know if I change my mind. So we will continue to play our cards back and forth, pick up different animals. And once one animal has 6 cards in front of it, that's what ends the round, right? And potentially the game, depends on how many rounds you're playing. So it's nice because you could potentially control the ending, depending on what cards you have. If you have enough cards, you might be able to rush the ending because you're like, okay, I'm in a good spot now where I'm ahead. I can rush the ending. Or sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to play that tension. Okay, I want to put a card here, but if I do that, that's going to make there 5 cards. And if he plays the 6th card, that's going to end it. So there's always that tension of trying to figure out, is this the best play, right? But otherwise, pretty darn simple. And scoring is fast, right? It comes with a little scoreboard, some chips. A lot of times, a few things get zeroed out. I might have 3 elephants. They all get zeroed out. So I don't score those. And I might only have 2 lions and maybe 2 hippos and a meerkat. So the scoring is really quick. So Botswana, love it. Good game. Definitely staying in the collection. And I'm glad too. It's also just beautiful. Like double whammy. You get a great game that also looks beautiful. Come on. It's the best. Easy cleanup. Just throw it in the box. You're good to go. Next up is Trinket Trove. I first played this one and bought it at Gen Con. We played with like, I think this plays 6 players, right? Yeah, I played 6 players and we played at 6 players. And it worked well. Usually at that higher player count, I'm always a little bit nervous, but I think with games like this, they definitely shine at higher player counts. Even though it says 2 players, I tried it at 2 and 3, not my jam. I haven't tried it at 4 yet, but 5 and 6 worked well. 4 I can assume will be better. I need to try it at that player count. The quick overview of the game, this is a set collecting game. At its core, you're trying to collect similar things, but what makes this game different, which I really enjoyed, is the cards in your hand you use to bid for things, but also the cards in your hand are what determines your score at the end. You're not like set to collecting off to the side like a tableau type thing. Everything is always in your hand. So you have to constantly weigh the pros and cons of what's in your hand, what should you give up, and that's a unique thing I haven't tried yet. It's like, it's probably easier to show you. It's just real quick. We'll just set up a quick example and we'll show you what I mean. So let's just hop through one round. I felt like this is the easiest way to teach this game. Even when I taught my family, they love the game, but that first round was a little bit sticky. You know, you could tell they weren't bought in yet because it's a little bit different from games that people usually play. Usually they're trying to collect things and they're setting them off to the side, right? They're used to the games like that. Where this one, everything stays in your hand. So you're constantly having to weigh like, okay, do I get rid of this? Do I collect this? Do I go for this? Because these are what you use to auction and is what you're collecting. So that was just a different thing to like explain to them. So walking through around with them kind of openly, which I'm about to do right now, so let's go ahead and do the same thing. I think that's the best way to learn. So the turn order isn't like a clockwise or anything like that. It starts off random at first based on your different characters here. And they're so cute. Like this one's called Bernard, Bernard. And you got Wanderer, Patches, Pinfold, Nimbus. I think my favorite one in there, who was my favorite one? I think it's, is it Brixby? Brisby? I didn't grab my favorite one, but there's a different from cute characters. And it's fun because these are the names I end up calling everyone at the table. So I'm like, all right, Bernard or Wanderer, you're up. Get up here, Patches. It's fun. So if I'm Bernard and I'm first, I have to look at these are the cards that are up for auction first. So the first one always has 2. In a 5 or 6 player game, these first 2 cards will have 2. And then you just have enough rows of cards, equal to the number of players you have. Here, I need to decide what I want. Since I have a key and a crown in my hand, I'm kind of tempted to try to go for this one because it just happened to work out perfect where I can get 2 cards that I want. Because in this game, like right now, the crown is worth 20 points by itself. Pretty good. But if I get 2 of them, it's only worth 10. And if I get 3 of them, it's worth 0. So this is a little bit risky because if you get stuck at 3, which my last game I was at 3 for quite a while, but if you get like 4 or 5, you get 6 of them, it's worth 120 points. Where maybe like the bell is pretty straightforward. The bell is like, it's 10 points by itself. It's only 30 points with 2, right? But the key is pretty straightforward. The key is 10, 30, 30, 70. So, it doesn't quite, they don't always go up exponentially. Like it's 10, 30, 30. So, the second and third card are worth the same amount. But then you have a pretty big jump for your 4th card. So this one gives me potentially 2. I'm gonna probably keep my crown and my key, and I'll bid 2 cards. Now, the values don't mean much unless someone bids the same amount of cards as you. So if I bid 2 cards there, that's it, I bid 2 cards. Now the next person, maybe they're like, you know what, I'm gonna bid a lure, and that's it. And also you mark your cards with it. So I would mark my cards with the players. So this bidding part also determines the play order for next round. So right now, Bernard, myself is going first if no one else bids higher than me. Since it says Wander, is it Wander? Yeah, it says Wander, I always want to call her Wanderer. Since Wander did a 7, I could put a 7 down, even though it ties her, since I'm the player that went last, I would beat her. So in this case, I could play 1 card and be second. And the last player, you know what? They're kind of want lures. They're like, you know what? Because you're bidding for these cards, but you're also bidding for the cards people are bidding with. So they might actually just say, you know what? I'm gonna go a 7 as well in this case, because that will put them second, and now they have second choice. And that's it. So that's like the first round of bidding is everyone bids kind of what they want here, but also kind of what they want here. To make that make sense, Bernard goes first because in the day, no one bid higher than him. If someone bid 2 cards, as long as they bid more than 7 points, they would be first. Or if someone bid 3 cards, they all would automatically go first. Numbers cards always trumps the values until someone has the same number as you. So just keep that in mind. So now Bernard, you have to pick up 2 piles now. It's like either any pile from here or any pile from here. You just can't pick up your own. In this case, I definitely want this one, which now gives me some cannon. Now I'm also looking at, okay, what else? I'm kind of looking at not what I want, but also if I want to keep these, remember, I have to now bid with these. So I can't really bid with these cards. So I need to find something that maybe gives me a high value that I can maybe use to maybe get a better position next time. So in this case, I might just take this 7. Mostly because at least as a 1 card is pretty high, and that's about all I can do. So Pinfo will go next. Maybe they take this one and this one. Patches would go next. Maybe they take this one and this one. I realize I put those in the wrong piles, but still illustrates my point. Bernard would go first, so that way this is now the new turn order, right, for the next round. And then you just basically go again. You deal out more cards here, and you rinse and repeat, which is nice because, like I said, I go through that first round openly, and now they understand, like, okay, we're bidding with those cards and we're collecting those cards. And usually by the end of the second round, they're locked in. They get the concept, right? So at least with my family group, once we got through 2 rounds, they understood. We had a pretty close, finale with different ranges of points, and they wanted to play again. And then the second game was a very different winner than the first game because people started to understand, okay, maybe I'll collect this, maybe I won't collect this. It's great. And some of these are like, they feel like kind of Hail Marys. Like the feather gives you like 145 points if you get, what's that, 3, 6, 7 of them, right? But getting 7 of them is tough because I realize if everyone's going for it, you're not going to get 7. But if you end up being the only one going for it, your chances are pretty high. There's always little things that make this game nice. Like you can also just bid 0 in this game. You bid 0 and you just put down a random card from the deck. And it's also trying to figure out the turn order, paying what's out there. Maybe you don't care. You know what? I don't care to go first. I'll just go last. This way I can save my cards. I'll just take what I get. And also sometimes if someone puts down a big bid, 4 cards, maybe you don't want them, but it might be worth winning it just because now you have a lot more cards on future turns to bid. So I've seen somebody, I think it was last game we played, where they put down 2 cards and picked up 7 cards. That's great. I freaking put down 2 and you gain plus 5 cards. And they still got something they needed, right? They ended up winning the game because it just worked out where they were collecting that stuff they needed. No one else went for them. So there's a lot of these little meta strategies that make this game just beautiful. And boom! So that's it for this week. Which one would you play for? Would you reach for Botswana or Trinket Trove? I assume based on my explanation, this one was a tad bit more confusing, but it does work out really smooth. Botswana, obviously, way easier to explain. You put a card down, you pick something up, it's worth the value in the game. You can explain this very quickly. I do think this one's nice in terms of once people get into it, they understand some of the metas, and it really does shine. Both games, I would put them at the same level of difficulty. They're really not hard to people to catch on. My family group is very unforgiving. They quickly like a game or hate a game. Both these games they enjoyed, so I imagine it would fit well with your groups as well. So please hit subscribe and like and all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to comment and watch these videos. It really does mean a lot to me. I look forward to more games, 1,000. We got a lot of ways to go, long ways to go. But I look forward to it. And thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.